So for some weeks now, we've been progressing in our journey on the subject of data visualization. And this time around, unlike when we used Excel, we are using a specialized data visualization tool, which is Tableau. And we'll be making quite um, an impressive progress on that in the last 2 to 3 sessions. So today we build on that and we see how to further deepen our understanding in the use of um, Tableau as a visualization tool. So, in that wise, I'll be sharing my screen in a moment. Please let me know as soon as you can see my screen. Okay, screen shared. Um, curriculum. Okay. So we've covered the first 7 modules extensively on different subject and data, analytics, and familiarization of data with as many examples as possible and a number of projects. So today we continue the use of Tableau as a data visualization tool, a specialized one for that matter. And we've seen how we could make different charts. We've seen how we could make different illustrations and bring them together. We started actually with familiarizing with Tableau environments, how to import data from different formats, either in CSV, in CSV is comma separated value, which is more like a text, and same goes for Excel format. It would be in Excel format. I'll show that over again when we land on demonstration in the course of today's session. But ahead of that, we are moving into something a bit deeper where the whole of the different charts can now be brought together to make a better sense and to see how each of them is connected to the data that is imported into Tableau in the first place. So, and that is called dashboard. So, dashboard is just a screen or a canvas that displays as many charts as possible, and each of the charts is telling different story or is giving different insight into the data that we are trying to analyze. Do not forget, data has now become a very essential tool that everybody must be able to manipulate, because if you aspire to grow or improve or do better in whatever you are doing personally as a person, you've got to lay your hand on your data, have a grip and control on it, and let the data tell you what next step you need to take. And this, of course, goes directly to all organizations, to most of the things organizations use today to project or to move to the next level is the insight they have been able to get from their existing data, and they can predict on what they need to do at any point in time. So, and that is why it's very, very crucial for employees of today and the future to be well familiar with data as early as possible. And that is why we are running this series for a long time now. It's just an initiative to keep ensuring people are sensitized towards the usefulness and the importance of having data capabilities so that they can become more data intelligent in everything they do. So, Continuing our survey on Tableau, we are going to do dashboards today. We've been able to do a number of charts. We've been able to move around Tableau environment. Now we want to make those different charts make more sense this time around by bringing them together on a single screen or a canvas called dashboard. So just like you have a dashboard in a typical car, every car you see has a dashboard, and on that dashboard, there are different isolated elements that is telling one particular thing or the other to the driver. Those are the different mechanism that is informing the driver and is also guiding the driver on what to do per time about the car he's driving. Same way, data dashboard tells an analyst what exactly is going on in the data under question or the data link context. And that particular dashboard gives insight into what exactly the health of the organization is about, what trend or pattern is currently going on, and what they can do to abort or adjust or improve on that particular trend. If there is no dashboard, you won't be able to see clearly and you won't be able to know what exactly you need to do to redress some things. For instance, in a sales dashboard, it can show you what location is generating the highest revenue month on month, year on year, and at what part of the year the sales peaks and drops. So you can start asking questions around why do we have third quarter having high sales year on year in the past 5 years, and first quarter is having this kind of sales year on year. What happened in those different parts of the year that makes those sales outcome look like that? You want to know. In an attempt to know and you get to eventually know what was responsible for all of those things, as an organization, you can go ahead to adjust some of your metrics and some of the things you do to respond to that reality, because the data is now showing you what happens in terms of pattern, and you can respond with more information armed with data, and you know you are not just beating about the bush. So that is what makes dashboards very, very useful and good, and it is something even a layperson can easily understand. But apart from easily understanding and seeing, it is also good to be able to create one yourself, or else you'll be at the mercy of data analysts or data scientists like myself, and I'm going to charge you for that. But instead of you finding your way, I mean, yourself in such situations sometimes in the future, why not let's go through this journey together and see how it all can happen as simple as following few steps that have been laid out. Okay, so what are the benefits of having a dashboard? Definitely, you can use dashboards to access data and report from more than one data sources. So you could have one data source from the particular folder, and you could have another one from another one, and they can all be imported on Tableau, and you can create a chart from each of them. Then you can drag those charts into a dashboard, and they will all be refreshing and responding to the sources they have from, as long as those sources have already been imported or connected to Tableau in Tableau environment. I will show that in a moment when we get to that level, as a practical demonstration of how to work around stuffs like that. Okay, what other benefits can we or do we generally have from the use of dashboard? It helps us to present information in a very dynamic interface that is, of course, very easy to use and understand. And this includes somebody who is not necessarily a techie or a technical person, as it were. It's just too direct. You can see it the way the dashboard is arranged. So dashboard can also allow us to filter and isolate individual metrics. We can also go ahead and zoom into some maps, or we can use line plot, line chart do bar chart, do all sort of those basic things we did in mathematics those days. You don't have to do the calculation manually now. That is why this tool is here. And an example of the tool is Tableau. All of those calculations are done at the back end of the application when it is being engineered or programmed. So what is left is for you to know where to find them, how to use them, apply them correctly, filter where necessary, and just get the results that you need to get. So, also before we go into the practical demonstration, we also need to know what are generally the best practices when you intend to create a dashboard. Yes, it's always good to have that at the back of our mind. In creating a dashboard, it is also very important for you to create it um, with the kind of audience you want to show it to in mind. So while creating, at the back of your mind, you are also figuring the basic need of the audience to whom you or for whom you are primarily designing the dashboard. That's so important so that the dashboard can within seconds achieve its utmost or ultimate goal within few seconds, because while presenting you really don't want people to struggle to understand. You don't want them to have reason to ask too many questions, because the dashboard is expected to be self-revealing and self-explanatory, easy to understand, legible enough, simple design, and linked correctly to all the basic questions that may be in the mind of the people for whom you are making the presentation or designing the dashboard. So that is a best practice. So it's good to have that at the back of one's mind. And you also need to ensure you present data that is relevant and data that is clean enough in your dashboard. So ahead of creating a dashboard, it's expected that you should have done some little homework on the data. The moment you are importing, or even before you import into Tableau, you are expected to have carried out some clean exercise. We did a lot of this clean exercise in several sections back in this series and initiative. So you could go ahead and check our YouTube channel to see a few of the sections we have done on data cleaning, so extensive, so you could see the different steps one can take in getting data clean even before importing them into some advanced visualization tool like Tableau. Another example of advanced visualization tool is Power BI, which is owned by Microsoft. So okay, the next thing is what other best practice would you ensure you imbibe while attempting to create a dashboard? You also want to ensure that you are selecting the kind of visualization that best projects the insights in the charts you want to bring out. We have bar chart, we have line chart, we have column chart, we have pie chart, we have a lot of charts. All of them are good at presenting different type of data. I mean, they are good at answering different type of project questions. So it is important as an analyst, you know when to use pie chart. It is important you know when to use a map or a heat map. It is important you know when to use a column chart or a line chart, what have you. So another best practice is to use templates to reduce time and complexity. Avoid cluttering the dashboard space with too many annotation or columns. So you don't need to annotate. Annotating simply means you are trying to label or create a legend to tell more about the charts you have just drawn. So those labeling are not too essential as the chart itself. When the chart is well presented, an average person can easily follow and see, okay, this bar is higher than this. It means this bar is saying something more than this. Okay, what does each of the bar represent? Oh, they are representing same observation or measurement, but for this month, this bar is higher than this. That shows that that particular quantity being measured is higher in that particular month than other month being compared with. That one is almost direct. There is no gainsaying that particular understanding. So ensuring things like that is far more important than writing or allowing labels to clutter your dashboard canvas, as it were. Then it's also important to use feedback to refine and improve the dashboard design. For instance, after presenting to the intended audience, in the course of that, somebody can come up and say, okay, yeah, this is fine, but I was almost mistaking this for this because I didn't realize on time that this one is for this. That is a caution. So it means that the person struggled a bit to understand what you eventually did. Ideally, you don't want anybody to struggle at all. So you can take that feedback, figure out, okay, what else can I do? How can I present or represent this chart such that nobody will mistake A for B or B for C. Everything is distinct and clear enough. So such big feedback can make you think a bit, figure out how you will rearrange the chart on your dashboard canvas and make it simpler and neater, legible and easy to follow and understand. So those are very, very important. So what next do we need to do? Let's dive in straight to do live demonstration in Tableau environment. So ahead of that, this is what we are intending to do. We are going straight to do a dashboard, and this is an example of a dashboard, though this is done in Excel back then, but this is exactly what the dashboard looks like. We want to create something like this, have the dashboard canvas, then create as many charts as possible. Of course, we will not necessarily finish the dashboard today, but we'll start it, do one or two different charts, see how we can call up all of those charts from different parts in Tableau environments, do some tweaking, add color, add label, remove label in one of two charts, and put them on their different sheets. Then later on, we go ahead and now create a dashboard, call in the couple of charts we have done, and see how we can bring it straight to the dashboard canvas. So let's move now to Tableau environment. This is Tableau environment, and we'll be using the same data we used in the last session. That data was talking about its name, a Bigfoot cleaned. Where is it now? Okay, Tableau folder, the clean version. Yeah, it was the same data set we used last week. So just in this format, in Excel format, it's showing the report type, the class type, the year it was submitted, no, the date it was submitted, the year, the season it was submitted, the month, even though the month is missing in some areas, um, then the states, of course, this took place in the US, and that is why we're having these states listed there: California, Wyoming, Tennessee, Michigan, Arizona, Colorado, Texas, Indiana, Alabama, Washington, and what have you. Then, okay, we have Ohio too and Oklahoma. So we'll see how to represent that, and they are further broken down into counties, which is more like a local government in those places. Yeah, let's drag this particular file now into Tableau. So this is Tableau environment. Where you see me now, where I'm rovering around my cursor, is the canvas of a sheet, just like we have a worksheet in Excel. So this one is more like a chart sheet, a sheet on which you can create a visualization chart. So the visualization chart can be any of these. You can see an example here. We have all of them listed here, and I can click on this show me to remove it or to make them disappear. Can click it again to list them. So when I have a particular chart, then I want to vary it and uh, select another chart for what I'm displaying. I can pick from here, where I can undo it for now. So the chart can be on this sheet, and This center place roving around my cursor is called the canvas of that sheet. This is where you want to draw. A canvas is just like a plain wall or sheet where you can make drawings, or you can make paintings, or you can arrange things for better clarity and for people to see more clearly. So this is where I'm going to do all of that. And right beside it on the left is other it's a column to make adjustment on these charts that I'll be putting on the canvas here. I can choose to adjust the color of the chart, the size of the chart. I want to adjust the text, some details about it. That way I can choose to do all of that. So where is the data I want to use? I can't find it. So I need to go ahead and import the data. So what do I do now? I know the data is in Excel format. So the format, when you know the format of the data you want to import, you just pick from this selection here. So I know the format is Excel. So I can pick Excel, use Excel, pick this guy for me. This is the data, Bigfoot cleaned. Then I click open. So it comes into Tableau environment afresh and load the data. So this is the data already loaded now, and it's showing me the data source. So this is data I can move up and down to see what I'm having on the data. Then I can also move left and right to equally see how many columns are there in the data also. Then right here on the immediate left is showing more like a summary of the table on the immediate right. So it's showing the summary of the field. Do not forget the field in data analytics. Field simply means attributes, and it also means column. So the number of columns present on this data table is what is summarized right here. You can see field name shows report type. You see it here again, report type. Class, you see it, class. Submitted date, submitted date. So these are columns, and this is a summary of the column listed right here in this place. And like I also explained in previous sessions, so the data type are also summarized in this place. You see the physical table is showing the name of the physical is Bigfoot cleaned, and um, remote field is also equally there. Then one of those in one of those previous section, one important thing we also said is it also shows you at a glance the type of data that are used in each of the columns, because that is very, very important. When we're dealing with statistics and doing SQL, we mention type of data very well while using SQL, because the data type goes a long way to tell whether somebody will be able to import a new entry into a relational database using SQL command. If you do not follow the specification given originally to create the table as the data type that the particular column should take, then however, regardless of the number of times you are trying to import a new line entry into the database, it will not go, because the specification that that particular table expect the new entry to follow, it has not followed. So um, more often than not, it is the data type. So in this case, in this column called reports type, the data type is already indicated with this blue stuff upward. When you see this alphabet, it's showing the type of data there is in text. When you see the alpha sign, is showing the type of data there is numbers. When you see this symbol or icon for word, is showing that it's talking about either a location or a region or country. And yes, same thing with the county. The symbol are the same because they are showing location, region, or or country. So that's just a glance through the data. The next thing you can move now. So if you look downward below the table, you see on your far left is a button for data source. That is why we are seeing this preview of the data. We are on this particular button now, and that's why it is highlighted. So the very next thing to it is sheet one. So which means that a new sheet, a default sheet has been created by Tableau for me to start creating my charts from this data. So if I click the sheet one now, it opens that sheet. You can see just like I showed you before. Now the sheet is empty, the canvas is clean, there's nothing yet there, there is no chart right there. On the left, I have those tools there. I have the color I can change or maneuver or manipulate whatever thing I want to add to my chart. Far left again, I now have the lists of the different columns in the table of the data that I just imported into Tableau. So if you go back to the data source, you will see all these columns there: the class, month, report type, season, state or county, submitted date, year, and what have you. So they are all here. Can you see year, season, month, state, county, class, report type? So that's exactly what this one is doing here too. So why is Tableau listing the column here again? It's very simple, because when you are now doing charts, the essence of the chart you are doing is to be able to select the different columns necessary for you to display a particular chart that you want. For instance, now, if we want sightings in a particular month in this data that we have got, so we just go into the column. The columns are already listed here. Then I can pick it from there. So for instance, I can say, okay, no, not season. I can say state. If I pick state, and I can drop states. See, as I've picked it, I'm dragging it now. I'll put it in columns. Columns is here, and that's the beauty of Tableau. It has already divided column and rows again. So all these columns, you can rearrange them to put them, which one should go to column or row, depending on what you want to achieve. I want to see sightings by state. So I have picked state now. I drop it at column side or column text box. So it's showing me all the states listed in that particular data set. I can go ahead and pick month because I want sightings by month. I pick month again. I drag it right up there in column also. So I have states and I have column on column axis. Okay, which looks like a y axis. So I can go ahead and now say, okay, I want some calculation. The big foot cleaned. I want to pick you to go ahead. I can put that one in rows. Yes, I have my chart. Now the chart is showing me the months for each of the states as listed. So you can see that the states up here, they've been arranged alphabetically. So the states are written this way: Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, and Kansas, California, and what have you, down to the last one. And the months are also listed here, the months that existed in that data: January, March, May. It means other months did not exist in the data meant for all of these. So no, they exist. So they are just listed there. So what do I do now? Having had this is a bit cumbersome to look at a go. Then I can just choose to uh, view just one, okay, instead of viewing all the states together. So I can go ahead to say, okay, give me just for one state. And which state should I choose? Alabama, Alaska, Arizona, um, Arkansas. Okay, let's choose California. So if I choose California now, what do? I just go ahead to the states button here. The moment you put your cursor on it, that little arrow appears. If you click the little arrow, then it gives you a sub menu. On giving you a sub menu, you can click on filter, because you want to filter now to just one state instead of showing all these states. So you may not be able to capture what's going on directly. So I want to leave it, limit it to just one. So I want to filter now. So I will click on filter. So I'm clicking filter. Yeah, this is all the states here listed again, and they are all highlighted or selected. So I don't need all of them to be selected. I only need one state because I want to filter with just one state now. So I come down, click none. The moment I click none, all these boxes will be unchecked. So I click none, the boxes are unchecked. So then I can now check through which state do I want now. I wanted California. I'll pick California alone now. Can you see? So having picked California alone, then I go ahead to click OK. So I have a chart for California alone. What am I trying to demonstrate is that visualization is to make things as simple as possible. You can play around it. You can view as many as possible. You can filter to a reduced one. You can just do all sorts of things. If I were to be using Excel, I can still achieve this quite all right, but probably I would take like 3 to 4 to 5 different steps to be able to achieve this. But for specialized visualization tools like Tableau, it's just 1 or 2 clicks because all of those things are being considered when developing this application. So the programmers have already thought of all of the needs you will put this thing into, and they have simplified the process. They have done it, or they have pre-done it, if there is any word like that, ahead of time. All you need to do is just to pick the button, move them around in some places, and it makes life all the more easier than the other one. So what do I do next here? I want it to be more visually appealing and communicate faster than it is. As it is already communicating, at a glance, I can see that the month that is having the highest sighting is month of August. And coincidentally, we are in August now. So that's beautiful. And so, but I can make it more visually appealing by just what do I do? I want to allow them to have all the bars to have different colors and it to combine it by itself. So what should I do to do that? Since it is the month now that is represented by the bar, so I can go ahead and pick the month again. See, this is color right here. I'll just pick this month, drag it out, put it on color, then I expect those bars to change into different beautiful color. Wow. So can you see all the bars remaining their size and shape and quality, only color appearance has changed. And I didn't have to do that manually. I just have to pick the right boxes, put them where they should be, and the chart looks a bit better than just a one-way blue. If I undo that, it goes back to this. This isn't bad, but it can be better, and that's what I just did. So if I do this, then it comes back to this. So this looks a bit more beautiful. So having seen this, yes, somebody who know how to read graph will not only know that August is the highest month, but can also trace out the figure that is having that August is having as the highest. It's either you overrun your cursor this way, but if the person is unable to have direct access to the chart yet or the dashboard yet, seeing it from a presentation board, the person have to use his or her eyes to trace to the left on this vertical side to see the value. So which is slightly beyond 75, and here it's showing me directly is 76. Fantastic. But you do not want to give your audience that assignment to do, to be using their eyes to trace to the left. They also use their eyes to trace to the right. It's unnecessary work. You can just lay it bare. Let them just use their eyes to see and understand. So instead of using their eyes to trace what the exact number is, I can make it easier for them by making each of these bars to have what numbers they represent written on them directly. How do I do that? Just come here. You see this label. You can just click label. By the time you click label, it gives you this sub menu. Then on the top, you have show mark labels. Then check it or click on it all the bars are now having the figures. Don't forget I mentioned the IS for 76, and that is the exact 76 that is on it. This is how beautiful life can be in data visualization with powerful tools like Tableau. So, what else do I need to do? Okay, I have represented that. I can also do a couple of things, but let's see if I can adjust something. So, I'll leave this on this sheet and I can just try and name these sheets directly. I can name it this way. You know what I did there? Instead of leaving it as sheet one, that's the default name. I want to give it the right name it's representing. I double click. Once I double click, it brings out this sub menu. I highlight that, just write the name I have in my mind. No sightings. Let me just say sightings by what? Months. Then I click OK. That is labeled. Then on the sheet name here, I go ahead to rename it with the same thing. I just right click on that one, look for the name, just like on a normal Excel sheet. Then put your sightings by months. That's fine. Click enter. That's recorded. So I can go ahead to do another chart. So when doing another chart now, you can put it on another sheet. Right beneath here, all these icons you are seeing, they represent sheet, they represent one represent sheet, one represent dashboard, the other one I think represents story or something like that. But we are just trying to I'm going to use sheet and what is it called? Sheet and dashboard now. So I want to create another sheet to put another chart on that sheet. So I just come here, just rover around your cursor to show you what is standing for. But the leftmost to the current sheet is definitely the icon for new sheet. So I can see that. So I just click this, it opens a new sheet. So I want to create something else. What do I do? Let's see if I can create a map. Let's see if it's going to work with the map setting here. I can just drag the state into the canvas now. Can you see? It's giving me a map. As it's giving me that, I can also drag the counting here to yes. Then underneath here, you can click this arrow. It gives you more items embedded in that bar. Just for me to be able to move around my map very well, I'll click this grip icon is to grip the map more easily. So I'll click it. Yes, it's selected now. By the time I press it on the map, it will show that, can you see? So it helps me to be able to move easily around the map because it could be so large and I need to probably do some extension. The map we are doing is right here. It's a US map. Yes, this is US map. Yeah. So, um, okay, I can put this one more clearly. Rename. So, what state did we use? We use California. California set sightings by month. Then here to I can just put California sighting by month. Okay, that's fine. And sheet two now. Uh, I've dragged state, right? Then I have also dragged the other one. Then what else can I do here? Let's see if I can drag the county into California. Where's California? Here. Virginia, Georgia, California. Where are you? Colorado. Okay. Yes, I can see California. So I can drag this, put this here. I expect it to have been giving me some notation here. So I don't know what's wrong with this map setting. I can look at that one later. Okay, so I can just review it in another format for map. Let me see. No, I don't want you. No, I don't want you. Not you. Yeah, something like this. Maybe not you. Not you. Yeah, it's looking something like this. No problem. So, but it needs to highlight California. Okay. What else do I want to do here also? I've brought in that other one. Do I want to put the label also? Yeah, let's see the label. The label is already there. What else do I want to do? Do I want to change the color? Color for um county. Let's see what happened. Okay. So just giving some little demonstration. So what do I do with this? I can name this California sighting by county. So I have to name that sheet that way too. Rename it California sighting by county. Enter. So I can leave these sheets too. I just want to create a couple of sheets that I can now put on a dashboard. Let me do one more chart on another sheet entirely. So I come down here and I can pick this icon, which is a new worksheet. So automatically, Tableau is already loading that data automatically to every sheet I want to create to design a new chart. And that is a very perfect beauty of Tableau. I don't need to be running at recalling data from one sheet to another. Automatically, when you create a new sheet, that default data that you started the workbook with is loaded on that sheet, so you can pick it directly so easily. So what do I want to do here? Maybe yes, I still take states, go here. Um, this time around, instead of taking months, I can take season. So season also go here. Um, then the counting should come to this row. Yep, I have something similar to the other chart. Then what do I want to do? Is also so large because of the number of states. Then let's narrow it down to California again. And to do that, what do? I go back to the state up here. The arrow pops out. Click on the arrow, click on filter, unselect all these check boxes by clicking none. Then look for the state you want to select. In this case, it is California. Then I click OK. I have that chart alone for that state alone. Okay, what do I want to do next? Give it some colors. Um, then I pick season put it on color, then also give it a direct label. I click this, show mark label. They all have their numbers, and I have a very good looking chart now. So, what do I name this to be? I can say this one should be California sightings by season. So, I can copy this, say okay, then name that sheet itself with that same name, gives it to it, say enter. That's fine. So, having done this, we have just less than 14 minutes. So, having done this, I can now call up all of these charts and put them on a dashboard canvas. We are beginning to create our dashboard. Of course, you know what makes up a dashboard is different charts and different metrics. So we have had three now. So I'll just call all of them into a dashboard. So I need to create a dashboard canvas. So I don't need to go and create it of my own. The icon here, the second icon here, first one is for new worksheet, second one is for dashboard. So new dashboard. So the moment I click it, it opens a dashboard canvas. So this is a dashboard canvas. And another beauty is that the three charts that I created on three different worksheets were automatically loaded to the dashboard canvas that I just created, because Tableau understands that in a dashboard I want to import or bring into the dashboard the chart I've already created, and that's exactly what I want to do. So let's pick the first one. I pick this guy, drag it out, and put it on this uh, dashboard. And here is it on the dashboard. Because I already click floating here, that's why it's appearing in this sensible manner as small as this. Let me undo to do the other way around. You see, let me click tiled. I've left floating, and let me bring this guy down here. I drop it. Can you see? It's occupying the whole of the dashboard canvas. Of course, that's not the only chart I want to show on my dashboard. So I will need to adjust this. So how do I adjust? First, I need to change the format that I should instruct Tableau to make this chart to be floating, not tied to the entire canvas space. I want it to float in a small space on the canvas. So I come down here. Can you see? I will have to change the setting from tied to floating. So the moment I click floating, so I expected that I should be able to adjust. Or if that does not work, I can just undo that. Then I've clicked floating now. Then I'll now redrag the charts onto the canvas. So it comes in a floating size. So I can just put it here, just remain there. I don't need this guy. This is the label guys that I spoke about earlier, that it will just clutter your chart area, and there is no any indispensable information they are displaying. So you can just delete it so that it will not clutter the whole of the space for you. So I just need to do this, drag this down a bit, then pick this up a bit. Oh, I have three now. How do I arrange all of them to be on the three together? Maybe this is too high. I can leave it that way. So I can take the second one and put it here. Second one too, can you see it's also having this unnecessary label or whatever. I can delete it. I don't need you. This is what I need. I need this guy. I take this up a bit. Mm, maybe to this same size with that other one. Same size. Same size. Okay, I was thinking to help adjust. So, okay, let me drag the third one. So the third one can come. So you can just do some design arrangement. Maybe you can say one should be like this, then the two should be like this. So you have not removed this label stuff should go. So you can arrange your chart on the canvas as calmly as possible. But when it's not looking too logical in terms of flow, you can drag them around. Stop that. You can drag them around and bring this one back here. So, assuming I have other ones I want to do now, I will further arrange the chart on the canvas. So I'll bring this one back here. So, let me say, does this need to move like this? Maybe it should move in more. Okay, I can also go here and say, if what is the floating order? Bring to front, bring to forward, send to back. Okay, send backward. Okay, so for now, I can leave it this way. Or I can say, I don't want people to see you first when they look at the canvas. I want something else that looks better, nice to be seen first. Because I just use that as so, and I can actually put this way, just this a bit this way, bring this guy up. Maybe you can just stay in the middle or you can just stay here for the time being. So when we do other charts, we arrange it this way too. Then we now do a control button that can walk around all of them. And I can probably drag these two a bit down a bit, do a slight heading that names the dashboard itself, whatever we need it to be. So that will be that for today's session on the workforce analytics absorption framework, which we've been working on. Is there any question or any clarification on what we have done so far? Hello? Any question? Any clarification? Did we
No.
f- did we follow it correctly? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So if you do not have any question, you can go ahead, watch the session all over again, put into practice all what we have done, because the more you practice, the more it registered in your mind, and you can walk around other stops. So ahead of next session next week, same time, you can try your hand around that. And while you are trying to download Tableau, make sure you download desktop public. It's free, and you can be able to easily work around that. There is a serious usefulness for data that you may not understand the the gravity of the importance now, but I just implore that just give it your commitment and all your time. The usefulness of data in the whole world now is cannot be underestimated. It's just like how important oil is back then, and oil is already giving way because alternative to oil is currently in place. We are having green energy and we are having electric car everywhere. So in another 10 to 20 years, oil will be nowhere to be found. It is this data that is replacing the usefulness of oil. And it is people who have developed capacity on data that will be flying that movement, because you are not just starting to learn, you've already got all the stuffs you need and you're just flying by the day. And the current technology called AI that is sweeping everybody. I keep saying it, the food that AI is eating that is making AI to do shakara everywhere, that food is data. Without data, AI is useless. We train AI with data. We use text data and train data to make AI what it is. If you starve AI of data, it will die. So people that would gain ascendancy and people that will gain control over AI as the relevance is gaining momentum are people who have capacity to manipulate data. So you've got to do this every now and then and improve your skills thereon. So see you all next section. If there's any question, you can bust me at any point in time to ask those questions. Let's keep learning. This is being given for free. You need to make the most of it. In the absence of no other question, then we can draw the curtain at this point. Thank you all for your time. See you again next session, same time, and bye for now. Happy New Month, by the way. See you again. Bye.